He just comes off the gun. He's down here, and he comes off the gun. He says, "This may be the one time I outshot you." And he looks at me and I said, "Well, hell, let's go down range."
I'm Ryan Gresham, and this is Gun Talk Nation. All right, welcome into Gun Talk Nation. This Gun Talk Nation is brought to you by Smith & Wesson, Caldwell, Range Ready, and Colt. Today on the show, we've got Kevin Jarnagin.
What's up?
We've got Chris Cerino.
What?
Team Gun Talk. So we all actually, we don't work remote. Remote working...
It blows. I was
going to say it has its pros and cons, and also has its cons.
It has a lot of cons in my book.
So we're in the office. We've got a shooting range here on site. You guys have been, I'm going to say a four-letter word that starts with F. Fiddle farting.
Yes.
With a gun.
That's a four-letter word. I'm counting them up in my head. Going.
Look, I didn't major in math.
I'm counting at least six or seven.
Just adding an ing.
Yeah.
We tool around with a lot of guns on.
But you guys have been fiddle farting with a gun for I feel like a few weeks, and I drive in and out of the parking lot. And I'm like, they're over there again. What are they doing?
What are they doing with their time?
I never know what they're doing.
Never knows what we're doing.
God,
he really doesn't.
He doesn't.
It's the same gun.
It is the same gun.
So we're gonna talk about,
and it's Chris's gun.
Chasing accuracy and barrels and whatnot.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do that with a lot of different guns. We've done it with every kind of gun that we shoot out here. Of course, this story is going to be about bolt actions, but there's a lot of factors that go into what happens.
So we'll start from the beginning.
Yeah.
What is it?
What is accuracy?
Yeah. Well, what is actually?
What's the expectation?
What's this?
And yes, a lot of factors go into accuracy, because when it comes to guns, you'd be like, is it accurate? Well, I mean, are you accurate?
Can
Sorry.
you shoot?
Yeah. Do all your guns shoot low and left?
That's every single person. Because we look at groups on Instagrams and on the socials, and it's like, is that you? Is that a one-time group? Because I know there's a lot of shooters. I'm going to use a Chris saying.
I'm a shooter.
I'm a shooter.
Shoot. I discharge firearms.
There's a lot of groups that I question out there, and because I have seen the people shoot in real life, dude, IRL.
It's basketball trick shots, okay?
Yeah.
Look at this amazing trick shot. I mean, it is amazing. It took you 3 days, 8 hours a day to make that ball go in that hole.
And a lot of GoPro batteries.
Yeah. So, yes, it was accomplished, but can you do it on command? And we're going off on a tangent.
No,
but
that's not a tangent. We are answering the question, what is accurate? What is your accuracy? I guess that's really what it comes down to with us and the story of this gun.
It had us wondering if we could even shoot.
I had no clue.
So if somebody is out there, and we have various folks. We have fella who has a rifle and shoots a minute of deer, and that's good, and I kill stuff most of the time.
Like your buddy.
Like my buddy.
Tell the story
went to the
about
range,
that.
I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's shooting 4, 5, 6 inch groups at 100. I'm like, okay. Well, he's like, that's big enough. That's good enough to kill a deer. I'm like, I know, but that's really not what you should expect from the gun. And he's newer to it, so probably he is a factor in that. But what should someone expect and this is why, because this gun was doing, a lot of people would have been like, cool, done.
They wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have known until they got out in the field. They wouldn't have known. So we're going
to give you guys kind of maybe some parameters of what perhaps you should expect. And there's not one answer, because anytime someone says this is the answer, that's usually BS.
Your antennas better start going up.
Yeah, but
mine
what should the expectations be? Probably different for different types of guns. A gas gun, a bolt gun, a lever gun. Could be different expectations there, right?
Well, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, sometimes.
So our expectations of accuracy have really progressed over the past, I'd say, 10 years. used to you talk about a bolt gun like this, let's just say out of the box, Remington 700, you're looking, man, 1 MOA, like it's an inch gun. Like
if you can shoot an inch and a half,
If you go back
you're
25
probably
years,
really close.
It was a 1.5 2 inch
Right.
gun was like, yeah,
so
accurate. It'll kill everything.
Our standards, and I think a lot of it attributes to what gun manufacturers are really getting out there today. Like we've changed. We are, I mean, around this office, I feel like we are accuracy snobs.
Oh, sure. You shoot everything. And so part of the reason why we're talking about accuracy so much and maybe having a higher standard is because we're doing different things.
Yeah.
So, yes, if you hunt in the thick woods and the longest shot you have is 100 yards, if it's a 3-inch gun, you can kind of get away with a lot.
I killed a lot of deer with rifled slugs out of smoothbore shotguns when I lived in Ohio.
Right.
And I mean, they were anywhere from bow range to 125, 150.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's fine. And if someone says that's good enough for me and I have no problems, cool. But now we're kind of entering the world of precision rifle shooting.
Right.
And precision doesn't only mean accurate. What we're really talking about is precision at range, at a longer range. So a 1 MOA gun is a 10-inch gun at 1,000 yards.
Yes.
That's 1 MOA.
Yeah.
So if we're starting out and a gun is shooting quote unquote wild because it's shooting 3-inch groups, that's a 30-inch group at 1,000 yards. You guys have been getting into the PRS, NRL,
yeah.
longer range rifle matches and stuff, and that's where this story sort of perhaps starts. Yes.
So my question to you, Ryan, is what's your accuracy in a bolt gun? What do you expect out of a gun that you pick up off the shelf? What should you expect? What should a guy listening to this should expect?
Off the shelf gun is probably should be shooting an inch group at 100 yards. Off the shelf.
Yeah.
Not some crazy custom thing.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Pete, 'cause here's what I'm going to say, because I haven't said much yet. But let's remember this. A paster that you put on a bullet hole on a target is a 1-inch paster.
Right.
That's really good.
That's small.
Okay?
Right.
If I just went and bought a gun and then bought ammo, just any ammo, and gosh, this is $42 for 20 and this is $27 for 20, and I went with the 42 or the 27 because either one could be wrong.
Right.
I may not shoot that inch.
Well, we're going to get into that, right?
Yeah. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. But let's also remember that we've shot, and then you guys go on. We've shot some really cool rifles on this range. We've shot rifles from Seekins and Christensen and CZ.
Yeah.
We shot the new Benelli Lupo.
These are $3,000 guns.
Yes.
2,700.
Yeah.
Not 3,000. Don't say 3,000.
Well, I'm just saying,
a
like,
lot.
in general, that category of gun.
So we shot that CZ, and I was literally able to shoot flies off a target with it. Okay, unheard of, but they can do it. I could do it. The gun could do it. Then we shot the Lupo. And we're like, okay, this is a bolt action gun that comes over the counter and literally shooting dimes,
Like
stacking
half-inch. That's a half-inch gun.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So then you're thinking, okay, now we're
Remarkable.
building this custom gun. We're building something.
should it be an 1/8-inch gun?
It should be amazing, right? So now you guys can carry on with your thing. So that's
Okay.
why we're
and
snobs.
Chris is,
He's
and
setting
Chris
it
is
up.
saying it because it's not. I'm sorry, but the answer is not as simple as it should shoot a 1-inch, because it depends is the answer. Because you can an off the shelf gun, even under $1,000 guns,
A Ruger
expectation.
Ruger American Gen 2.
Yeah, they're very good guns.
6.5.
The
It's
Savage
gonna
has some
shoot
very good
less
guns.
than an inch.
And
Savage.
these are $500, $600 guns or whatever, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, the Axis too.
But we
Like,
can
unbelievable.
do that, and we know how to do it.
But it depends
we're
on the
also-
ammo.
right? Because we have a whole room full of different bullets, and we'll say, "Wow, this is not good."
Yeah,
then we change
This is
things.
here's lesson number one. Okay, you probably already say it before.
He's growling.
You got to try different ammo to see what the gun likes. Is that true or false?
True.
That's frustrating, but it is true.
Okay.
Why can't a gun just shoot? Why can't?
Right.
Why are we in an age right now where oh no, you got to try this ammo. You got to buy 6 different boxes of ammo to find out what gun this likes.
Because you're being picky, KG. Because you're picky.
Because you want
if
accuracy.
You weren't picky. You could grab any box of ammo and put it in, let's say, the Ruger American Gen 2. And it'll be good. Even like the worst ammo, it'll probably be less than a 2-inch group. Yes?
Right.
Probably?
Yeah.
The problem is grain weights.
Probably.
That's where the grain weights come in.
Oh, gosh.
And you start talking about grains. Well, we
poor
know that the
listeners.
6.5 was built kind of around the 140, so the 140 is kind of everybody's favorite, but then they change things. But there's a 143. Kevin, why doesn't the 143 do better?
So
maybe it does.
all right.
Good.
So
Oh my gosh.
we have a gun sitting on the table here. If you're listening to this and you're not watching it, you might go over to YouTube or our website or whatever to see this. But the gun we're going to be talking about is sitting on the table. It's really cool looking. And on the front of the gun is taped a little bitty card with a little ragged hole that is the group.
Finally. The final.
Yeah.
So,
And I didn't shoot it.
so walk us through the story after the break.
From Caldwell, it's the Velociradar with Chirp radar technology for more accurate readings from your chronograph. Tracks bullets downrange at various distances, giving you the full picture of ballistic performance. Easy to set up and an app to track all of your data all year long. Go check it out at caldwellshooting.com.
Range Ready is where we run our classes, rangereadystudios.com. So go over there to check out the classes and events that we have going on. These things go fast. Another little known thing about Range Ready is we will provide you a pistol if you need one for running a class, or even an AR. But there's no charge for that. We don't rent you a gun and there's an upcharge. It's just available for your use. So it's a pretty cool deal. Go check it out, rangereadystudios.com.
Colt revolvers stand the test of time, and they've added more to the lineup. The Colt Grizzly is a rugged .357 Magnum 6-shot revolver featuring stainless steel construction and adjustable sights. The Colt Kodiak is your ultimate companion for big game hunting or backcountry carry in .44 Magnum with a 4.25-inch ported barrel. See the Colt revolver line at Colt.com.
All right, a ton of buildup, but let's get into the story of lessons learned and chasing this gun and accuracy of swapping out barrels.
I love your title of chasing accuracy because we always tend to do that. Like we are always looking, how can it be better? What can we do? What can we do more? And that's what Chris did. So I approached Chris and I said, hey, why don't we go shoot a team NRL match? Me and you, it's going to be awesome. And he goes, I've got the perfect gun.
So it's KJ's fault.
No, it's my fault.
KJ's fault.
It is my. It
was a great gun when it was a 308.
But it was a 308, and you did not want to shoot an NRL hunter match with a 308.
And tell people why.
Well, I mean, 6.5 is the standard on NRL circuits right now.
Tell them why.
Speed kills, man. And it's a little tiny bullet, lower drag, less wind.
Well,
it's not necessarily that it's shooting.
Not
it
faster,
is shooting flatter a little bit.
It shoots a lot,
but not
flatter.
a lot.
No.
Not a lot flatter.
It's that BC.
It's the BC. It doesn't have. It has a lot. It has significantly less wind drift.
Yes.
Than a 308 because it's a longer bullet.
Yeah.
Right.
And, down here south where we're shooting this match, there's probably not going to be as much wind. So a 308, you can absolutely do that with a 308. You can do these matches with 308. I'm not trying to discard the 308. 308 is here. We're not replacing it.
It's great, man. It kills a lot of stuff, but takes a lot of effort to shoot it because I shot PRS for a long time with 308s, and everybody that was shooting other calibers, Magnum calibers, 7 Wisdoms, 7 mags, 300 Win
Who's
mags.
shooting a match with a 7
Well, maybe that was
Remington Magnum?
10 years ago.
Well, that was a lot of years ago.
What we're seeing now, right?
These guys were just burning it down because they're shooting flatter, they're shooting faster.
Right. Well, that was the
cutting
thinking.
the wind.
We're like, Magnum, go faster. But now what we find is bullets that buck the wind because they're longer bullets for the size, but also you're having less recoil.
Yes.
So you're able to stay into the gun, stay in the scope, call your shot, call the wind, all those things, right?
You're taking in all those variables, and
it's a game.
That's why I think
This is a game.
7 mag is ridiculous.
Yes.
So needless to say,
I can't stop.
We changed.
So you swapped the barrel.
We were going to change this barrel out, and we had one on hand because we had done some stuff with some prototype barrels,
We get prototypes in. We have stuff laying around. So we got this prototype barrel.
and it looked good.
It was from Ballistic
God, it was
Advantage. I'll say
beautiful
that.
barrel.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
And it was a barrel blank.
It was a barrel blank. It was a perfect blank for a 6.5. And we have, of course, Todd at Maniacal Firearms.
Yeah.
And Todd said, "Yeah, man, I'll do it. We'll change it out, and it's going to be great." And I said, "I wanted 20 inches." And he said, "I was crazy, but I wanted 20 inches because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
It's a 6.5. It needs a lot more." But so we did it, and we brought it back home.
And so when a gun leaves Todd's shop, I mean, he sends you a picture of the group he shoots.
He did.
And what was that group?
It was pretty ratty. It was probably 1.5 inches. I would say it was 1.5 inches, maybe 2. I wish we still had it, that picture. But he said, "Man, it's probably going to settle down. It just needs to be shot a bit."
Like when he's talking a bit, he's thinking like 40, 60 rounds type settling in,
You know how much money that is?
that's a lot. I mean, you're talking about time, money, and effort trying to break something in, which that's fine.
$80, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's still $80.
It's a lot of
$80,
shooting.
$80 on top of what it cost.
Sure.
If I had to buy the barrel,
Sure.
it would have been almost $800.
So that brings us to barrel break-in, perhaps. But
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah,
So-
it's all BS too.
so you took the gun, the new barrel out, and what happened?
Well, we shot it, and I couldn't shoot it really well, so I made KJ shoot it because, even though KJ doesn't generally shoot as good as me,
No.
we all have good days and bad days, and KJ shot it, and he was sucking, and so then we kept shooting it more and more, and they started getting really wild.
Well,
like
So it
6
didn't-
inches out.
It didn't settle in.
No,
It wasn't getting even close. And I was like, well, is it? It's not heated up because we hadn't run that many rounds through. So then we start, with the ammo. We start just
Start
pulling
changing
different
ammo.
ammo. We start changing ammo, and that was our first step to chase this accuracy.
And it's a 6.5. It should have just shot Hornady 140s right off the bat.
That's
Any
fair.
140s.
That's fair. That's a good stand. It's a good standard to have.
So you said it was like, what was it doing? It was inconsistent, or it just kept getting wilder?
it
What
was
the deal?
consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, it would you'd shoot 2 through the same hole, then it'd shoot 1 4 inches out, and then it'd put another one in the same hole, then it'd put 1 6 inches out somewhere else.
Yeah.
And obviously, people who know guns are listening to this going, well, sounds like your scope was loose or your bases
right.
were loose.
Okay.
Or
That was-
whatever.
that was
so.
So
1A.
we sat on it for a couple weeks. We said, we'll take it out again, and we'll give it a try. So we did. And we
But you
gave it a-
checked the scope.
we checked,
Oh, yeah.
we checked everything.
Everything, right?
And
That's-
we took the suppressor off. We did everything. We took it back out. We shot it again, and this is when we said, well, maybe the scope's bad. I mean, it's a loophole scope, okay?
It's a Mark 6.
Mark 6.
3 to 18.
Yeah, I want to talk
It's-
about
it's-
that.
it is
That's a
older.
cool shorty.
And
an
that
old
scope has
scope.
been around the country with me on a couple different guns throughout my years. And so anything can happen because, KJ, we had one go bad. Scopes every once in a while they go bad. That's why you send them back. I mean, I had a Trijicon go bad the other day. That's a high
Yeah.
brand, big name brand.
Yeah.
And I sent it back, and I got
Known
a
for
new one.
quality.
Well,
yeah.
and part of
anything can break.
yes. Well,
Yeah.
and that was
your
part
Mercedes
of
car. You still have to get it.
part of my
serviced. Yeah.
issue too was I had just had a loophole Mark V go totally wrong.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Like
we're
6
talking
feet.
like 6 feet off. Like I would shoot one and it would hit the target, and then shoot another. That was another instance where I was like, Chris, you need to come shoot this because maybe I'm just having an off day. He did the exact same thing, if not.
I shot
more.
twice and said,
And you guys are
"We're done."
still. You're not. I'm asking. I guess you're not saying there's a problem with loophole scopes.
No.
I was just saying
Like
that.
one, it just, I don't know. I sent it in, and they're gonna send me like a refurb right back, like whatever that was wrong with it. Something, these guns get beat around. We don't. These aren't Safe Queen guns.
That
like
was our
we
go-to
use them.
scope too. We put that on more guns for more TV and
Yeah.
more tests, range tests than any scope that's been back in our cache of
But
things.
it's been pulled off so many times and thrown in the safe and everywhere else. But So aside from the scopes, like all of them can go wrong.
So we changed out. So that day we took this scope, which has been in those rings for 15 years. We took it apart.
So not to throw salt in the wound, but
you're just throw it.
How did this gun shoot before you started fiddling with it?
Oh, it was a Remington, standard Remington PSR or SPR or whatever it was, special police rifle, special purpose rifle. It shot 308, 168 fed match like dimes, you know.
So it shot great.
So it was fine.
It was
Are we
fine.
going back to it's KJ's fault? Maybe.
No,
Yes, of course.
None of this is KJ's fault. I have
the 308.
I built this gun a long time ago. I mean, it was a Remington action, Remington barrel, but I did the bolt handle. I did the bottom metal. I bedded it. I did all that stuff. Got the Macmillan stock. I did all this. I was very proud of it.
Custom rifle.
Badger,
Very cool.
Badger rail on top. You know, that's all good stuff. And then, so we changed the scope out.
And KJ said, hey, come to a match.
Yeah.
So we changed out the scope. We put another really good scope on it, and it shot exactly the same.
Kind of like two touching, then one wild one.
Wild. I mean, exact. It was
So you guys
the exact
were
same.
You were really going through all the variables.
Yep.
Scopes, scope rings, bases, ammo, different types of ammo, all of that, right?
I mean, we spent a lot of time. We wasted a lot of time. So then,
But
go ahead.
we didn't waste any time. We wasted zero time with this gun because how else do we sit here and deliver on like a cautionary tale and what to look for if we're not doing this stuff?
You're 100% right, because someone has to do it. This is what makes a great gun writer. This is what makes a great gunsmith. This is what makes people like us more knowledgeable, because we are afforded the luxury to be able to do these kinds of things.
And most people, they have a few guns, or maybe if you're listening to this, maybe you got a bunch.
We won't tell.
But, you know, you don't play with all of the guns and all of the scopes and all of the ammo, and we do. And I'm only saying that to kind of back up what you're saying. Is these are experiences and lessons learned, and we're trying to kind of like pass this along.
Yeah.
And this podcast came from you guys. This morning, I go into the gun room, and you guys are beaming because you're just like,
We did it.
We did it in 10 shots.
So look at this group.
It's
so fun. Gun people are so funny, right? Dude, look at this paper with holes in it.
Yeah.
Isn't this amazing?
I cut it out of the target.
You're like, okay.
He put it on his wall.
But so you did, and we already kind of told the secret in this story is you ended up saying, okay, I think it's this barrel that I swapped out.
Yeah, so we took
weird.
it. So we took it back to Todd's. I took it back.
Yeah.
I said, Todd, this thing's a piece of crap. Change the barrel.
No offense.
So
but,
he said,
this is a prototype.
But it's a prototype. They don't offer that barrel on their website. Like they figured out something is wrong with these.
Probably. They haven't told us that, right?
no.
Well, I just assumed since they didn't launch them out. I mean,
look, we get new stuff in. That
It's not always ready.
It's not always ready. We get new stuff in. They're like, oh, you get to play with all the new stuff. Yeah, sometimes it's not really ready.
It's not fun.
There's stuff that guns or scopes or accessories or ammo or whatever, silencers, that we've played with here that we saw problems. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes because of us, it's delayed in launching.
Another year.
or taken off the books.
We're taken off the books and then it launches eventually, and it's great.
And it's great. Yeah.
But look, this is like product testing, R&D. So yeah, we are calling it out that this was a ballistic advantage barrel, but we're also trying to let you guys know, like, you can't go buy it right now.
You can't go buy it.
So
it doesn't matter.
maybe it's Chris's fault. Don't put prototype barrels on your gun.
But we get
give
prototype
it a
stuff.
try. You never know. Sometimes they're really good.
Sometimes
too.
it's awesome. Yeah.
So
Sidebar. Sometimes
Side
you
quest.
get new stuff in. It's awesome. It runs great. And they still don't launch it for a few years because they say, well, our engineers wanted to do more
And you
testing.
want to talk
You're like,
so bad about it.
I don't understand. Like, it went great for us. You're like,
Yeah.
it's just not ready yet.
And you're like, well, hold on a second. Talk about like the RXM. The Ruger RXM is a perfect example
This
of
is
that.
behind the scenes. All right. You guys haven't heard this story before.
Yeah. Like it's the Ruger
We
RXM
shot
all over.
it in June.
June.
it was a long time ago.
When that video that we launched that was 8,400 rounds through one gun in 4 days,
One gun.
that was done in June.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, this is a sweet gun.
Yeah. It was great back then.
And
they
then
were like,
they're like, yeah, we're not launching it yet. It's not ready. We're going, what do you mean it's
And
not
there was
ready?
nothing wrong with it.
No,
nothing wrong with it.
We didn't have one malfunction. We didn't have one
We
problem.
were dunking that gun in water to cool it off. We were running it so
Ice
much.
water.
Yeah.
No,
Not
it
just
wasn't.
water.
No, it
you know,
wasn't ice
'Cause
water.
there's a couple times there was ice in that bucket. I was back there.
But I'm just saying, like, there's those times when you go, I don't understand what's
Why aren't you? But they
what's
want to
not
make
ready
it.
about it.
They
But
want to make it
Who
good.
knows? It could be a manufacturing thing of like, well, it's ready, but we need to make sure we can make
Yeah.
500 of them a day or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But back to barrels. So you brought it back to Todd's. You said, I think we got to swap out the barrel.
Oh,
Where'd you go from there?
So that was on Friday last week.
Friday last week. That was like
That was
Monday.
No, that was Friday last week because he shot it on Sunday and I got it Monday evening.
You were
Today's
sick
Tuesday.
on Friday.
Okay, you're right. It was Wednesday before I got sick, so it was Wednesday because I didn't come in Thursday and Friday.
He's delirious.
I know he's still sick.
I don't know. I
Well, it was
on-
my Friday. Okay,
Right.
does that make sense?
Yes.
It was my Friday.
It was my Friday. It was my Friday. For God's sakes.
About to make today my Friday.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You got it. No, I mean, so I took it in Wednesday.
Today's my Friday.
He got it done
It's a bumper sticker.
by Sunday. When I went and picked it up Monday, he was still lasering it, putting the 6.5 on it and everything and the markings. And he had shot it Sunday, and he said, "Is this good enough?" And it was a group very, very similar to what we're looking at here on the table, which
It's one raggedy hole.
it's about it could be 3/16. Okay, if you measured that from center to center and you discounted the flyer, it'd be 3/16.
And we're talking a flyer, not a big flyer.
A flyer
Not
that cuts the hole.
Well, there's a difference between a flyer when you shoot and you shoot enough and you go, yeah, that wasn't a when the gun went off, I wasn't really where I wanted to be on my hold, or I did something goofy. You know it,
Right.
And you know it when you shoot and it's 6 inches off to one side. You're like, that was not me. There's
I
something
can tell
going
you,
on.
I saw that one, and that was my third shot.
Yeah, that's a half. That's a half
It's always
inch
the third
pacer,
shot,
and
and
that
it's always
group
when you
is-
have a good group
You're
going.
like, ooh, look at me.
Don't screw it up. God.
See, I thought it would have been on the fifth shot.
So Todd redid the whole thing. We could tell there was a difference right away. I mean, it just everything looks good. It feels good. It fits good.
What'd you switch it to?
We switched to a Bartline, whatever you guys call it, Bartline barrel.
And did you?
It cost me.
And did Todd let you go 20 inches?
Todd didn't let me go 20 inches.
He's smart.
He put 22 on it.
22
and
inch
we're
barrel.
still only at 2,600 feet per second, which is really anemic for the 6.5.
2650.
2615.
15. Yeah.
That's about
right.
That's about what you're going to get. A six. See, that's the thing. People confuse
Well, and these are
people who are
140s.
not ballistic nerds, and they're like, "Oh, I hear the 6.5 shoots flat," and I think they think that means it's a Magnum, that
It's like going
fast.
3,000. No, you're not going to get that.
And that's why people shoot it well, is because even just backing off, it's not backing off, it's just what it is. But not being at 3,000 and being at 65, 2650 or whatever it is, 2615,
Yeah. You got it.
it's just comfortable to shoot. It's just that
Right.
little
Yeah.
bit. It's about, like 15% less,
It's
10%
just fun
less.
to shoot. But before we go into all the cool stuff that we could talk about,
Okay.
let's just say that. So we took it out.
Oh, okay.
A scope was thrown on. Everything was put back together. Even the rail was off because he Cerakoted everything because, it's a stainless barrel. We screwed the suppressor on it. I could tell right away the suppressor fit on, and his work is just magnificent. It just fits like two panes of glass coming together. We went out. I shot 5 rounds. I shot my first one. I made one movement. I shot 4 more, and it was probably 3/4 of an inch. Okay? But you could see every single bullet hole. And I said, okay, KJ, I shot 5. I'm satisfied. I'm figuring it's either going to settle in or it's whatever. It's good enough. It's way better. So I give KJ a mag of 5. KJ sits down and shoots.
And we're talking the whole time. Like, it's not like it's real serious. We're just sitting there
He doesn't
chatting.
say wow or anything like that. And he just comes off the gun. He's down here and he comes off the gun. He says, this may be the one time I outshot you. And he looks at me and I said, well, hell, let's go down range. So when we went down range, that's what we saw. And needless to say, that's 10 rounds through a brand new barrel that just got fitted within 5 days.
Yeah.
Cerakoted, put back together, and damn, I am excited to go shoot this match.
Yeah.
Because I was defeated, because when you shoot a gun that doesn't do what it can do, and you know you're a good shooter, and I know there's good shooters out there, you can get defeated. And you start thinking, well, is it me? Is it the ammo? Is it the gun? Is it me?
It's the bipod.
And then what I'll do is I'll start dry firing. I'm like, okay, it looks like I can press the trigger right, and the sights stay there right. And what's wrong with me?
That's what it is.
It messes with you.
It's you think, what is wrong with me? And then all of a sudden you start not having the same confidence in your own equipment, like in your own gear and in other gear, like that you normally shoot really well. Like
when I used to carry one handgun all the time, when I was just a one gun guy, man, I was good with it, and there was nothing I wouldn't try to do with it. But now I shoot so many guns, and I don't shoot my gun that I carry so much anymore, and I don't feel like I'm the headshot king anymore. I feel more like shooting Minute of Man anymore, because it's like I know I can hit that. I don't remember what exactly I see or feel when I shoot this gun.
Welcome to my
Make
life.
sense?
yeah.
Yes. Hey,
It's just-
here's this gun. It's not
Yeah.
like my gun. It's one of the guns we're shooting this week or whatever.
Yeah, shoot it today.
You know that Silencer Central makes it easy to buy silencers, but they also have their whole line of Banish suppressors, and the newest one is the Banish Speed K TI. TI for titanium. Extremely lightweight and compact. This is a really cool ultra compact 223 556 dedicated silencer. Weighs only 8.6 ounces. It's 4 inches long, and it has controlled flow technology. We have used this on the range. We've been impressed at how light it is, doesn't change the weight and balance of the gun, and also still very quiet. The Banish Speed K TI from Silencer Central.
The new Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 bridges the gap between a gun that's easy to carry and one that's easy to shoot. Small and lightweight at only 9.8 ounces. But plenty of .380 auto with 10 and 12 round magazines. See the new Bodyguard at smith-wesson.com.
So I guess my question would be, and we were kind of talking about this off air, is if you outshoot someone with their own gun, is that gun now yours?
I'm pretty sure that's the rule. Yeah, it's now your gun.
Because I will take this gun all day long, and
I've never seen KJ get excited about anything that I had. This is the first time KJ's like, wow, man, that is really sweet.
He's got something. And I mean, it's not only because Todd, put his mark on it and put his stamp on it. It's because the story of having Chris built this gun originally, did everything to it, bedded it, and he got a chance to work through issues in a different manner in which he normally does. Usually, you get a custom gun, you're just picking out parts, and you trust that your gunsmith is good enough. But Chris had a hand in this, and I think that's what's so special about it.
So Todd, we kept mentioning that. We may have said it at the beginning, but Todd Maniacal Firearms, he's in Covington, Louisiana. He's kind of become our go-to gunsmith guy because he's local to us. He does fantastic work. We've featured him on Build Box.
Yeah.
He does Cerakote stuff.
He does
rifle
work
builds.
for people
he does
all
everything.
over the country.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He said
He does.
Build Box has really opened him up. He's got stuff coming in constantly. And and the guys are fanatics when they get them back. He's telling you. They get their gun back and they're like, oh my God, this thing is so amazing. I'm going to send you this next.
Yeah, they end up
nonstop.
They end up ordering more, which is it's incredible.
Special. It's like what we're talking about with this gun. It's special. It's unique. When he does that, heck, even somebody building their own gun at their bench at their house.
Yeah,
it's not an off the rack thing. You've kind of selected one that you want it to be, and it's a one of one. There's no other gun like that out there.
but
This is a one of a kind.
But you want that custom experience, so you believe you can have that accuracy. And if you're putting it together yourself, it's going to be a lot more difficult.
True. Yeah.
I mean, it just is. You wouldn't have been able to switch all that over without Todd.
No, I can't.
sure.
I can't fit a barrel, but I can tell you this: the one, if you want to know what my favorite thing on this gun is, my very most favorite part of this entire gun,
Trigger or magazine catch?
the action, because it is a 15 to 18-year-old Remington 700 special purpose rifle off the shelf that I bought, and it is the one part of this gun that is still original, and it shoots like an amazing house of fire.
Well, I guess that goes to show, because you look at all, like, there are a number of custom action guys out there, companies out there that are, I mean, you're paying $1,400 to $1,600 just for the action. Like, you're talking about like a Defiance TI or a Impact. You know, you're looking at some.
That whole
like,
gun might have been $500.
Lone Peak.
Yeah.
I mean, no, like, yeah, and that's what's cool about it is, I mean, you can get stuff like this. I mean,
People have these all over the world in their houses, in their closets.
is that would you consider the Remington 700 action the most, I mean, prolific
Oh yeah, bolt guns.
bolt gun
Yeah, for
action
sure.
out there?
Yeah, I think so.
Not
And it's
pattern.
Funny. What's funny is
That.
Remington Firearms is still in existence, but it's very small from what it used
yeah.
to be. They're not cranking out a very high number of guns. But what's funny is there's two reasons why you have all these companies. You're like, oh, we have a Remington 700 pattern action or whatever, you know, pre-fit barrels and stuff like that. One is because there's a ton of aftermarket options for you.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Triggers and one bottom metal, all the other stuff, right? But if it wasn't accurate, they wouldn't keep doing it. It is
right.
accurate.
That's right.
It works.
And we just shot Joel's today. Joel's going to shoot a match with us. He's going to shoot the same match. Now, Joel, it was on Build Box.
Yeah.
He became our friend. So he's still got the gun. We built him for Build Box. It is the exact same rifle that this was, which is a 700 like
Right.
special purpose rifle, 308. And we shot it yesterday.
Yeah.
He was out here yesterday, and we were literally shooting dimes with Fed gold medal match 168s.
And that's a good point too. And it's kind of like the build box thing. So you said there's probably hundreds and thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds or thousands, whatever, of these types of guns, these special purpose
Right.
guns, which really they were 20-inch barrel guns, 308. They were the LE sniper,
Yes.
designated
Standard.
marksman.
Hogue over mold stock.
Yes,
The whole
exactly.
shooting
FN
match.
has a version, right?
Yeah, I have that.
Remington has a version,
And it shoots.
They're cool. They're great. However, like a lot of people, if you have that, you're probably a gun nerd like us.
Yeah.
And it may be just sitting in the safe because it's like I bought that. It was cool 15 years ago.
Yeah, because it was in every police movie,
But you
every
can-
TV show.
Yeah, they're making 87
was
yard
one.
headshots, but you could give it new life because that gun is not suited for what's popular right now as far as PRS NRL matches.
Right.
When you're shooting out to how far?
I mean, you're going out to 900
or so.
1,000 yards.
Yeah. So it's not really suited for that. So you could give it new life by doing a barrel swap.
You really could.
Yeah, and look at this isn't a chassis, but chassis are
So-
sexy. This is so retro.
So we have not provided the listeners and the people who are watching this, if you're not watching, I'm sorry you don't get to see this beautiful gun. But Chris, like, walk us through what's on this gun. I mean, like, because it's not just a factory Remington 700 action, but the stock and
what'd you
the
do?
suppressor. What did you do to
Well, I
outfit
originally
this gun?
started with the stock. I bought a Macmillan A4, and it took forever to get it. And it was like $500 back then. And it is molded. It's called Gap Camo. This camo is actually molded in. So if you scratch it or ding it, it's going to go as deep as the color all the way to the center. That's
cool.
Which is cool. So then, of course, I did a bolt handle on it. I bolt that bolt knob off of Brownells, and I thought, I can do this. So I sat in my garage with a bench grinder, and I ground it down and kept measuring because it said you have to have this measurement for this thread. So I did it, and then I threaded it, and I screwed it on. Todd says it's crooked, but you know what? I did it, and I love it.
Todd's a perfectionist,
It's
though.
got, so that's a Badger bolt knob, a Badger 20 MOA rail on top, which is all steel, which is the best way to go. Go all steel, bolted on, Loctited down. From there, we go down to the bottom metal on the bottom. It was a hinged bottom, so it had a trap door on the bottom where you had to dump the rounds out from there. And I used to shoot matches with that. And it was difficult because you have to unload and move.
Before you move.
Yeah, so I would just dump it and if I caught them all, I caught them, threw them in my bag. But then I put on bottom metal. So I had bedded the stock and everything, and then later I added the bottom metal, and I did it with the current bedding, and I still managed to get it in perfectly.
Whose bottom metal is that? Is that Hawkins?
This is Accuracy. Well, it was from Brownells, but it came with the Accuracy International magazine, so I don't know whose that is. I wish I knew. I don't know the name brand, but that was a gift from Roy Hill.
Okay.
Roy Hill sent me that, and I did that while I had cancer. I just took my time, and it came out perfect, because I had nothing but time. So then we put the new thing, the newest hotness is this Area 419 rail that goes all the way across, which takes that old McMillan chassis and puts an Arca rail the full length. Mm-hmm. So now I have all that. I can get my bipod way out on the end, which is an MDT. On top, I've got that Leupold Mark 6.
This is a great for a what is this, a 3 to 18?
3 to 18.
And that's a pretty short scope.
I got that when I used to shoot for FN, because Leupold was one of our sponsors. So that was on my FN rifle for a lot of years.
That's great.
It's been all over the country. It's had some good times, and on the end, we've got it with the old Silencer Central backcountry. That's my favorite.
Standard.
It's so quiet, and it keeps the gun short and manageable. And I didn't have any problem staying on target today. Did you? I mean,
Oh
it was
no,
pretty good.
Not at all. Well,
Okay.
look at the group.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I just thought we'd have you guys on, talk about chasing accuracy, and hopefully this is helpful.
Yeah, don't get
for
defeated.
people. Like if you're like, and it's also like, wait a minute, maybe if this gun that I've been shooting is shooting 3-inch groups, it could be the gun, it could be you,
Could be the ammo,
but it could be better.
My gosh.
and it could be better. Right.
Could be better.
And maybe it can't.
Yeah.
But you can also call
So-
Todd at Maniacal.
Yeah. Well, so I guess my question is when do you call it quits? At what point?
That depends on your personality. I'm more of like that's good enough. Let's just leave it there.
See, Chris and I are not that way.
But the
We're
guys
like,
who
God
make
dang it.
Excel spreadsheets of their training are the
Yeah.
ones who are going to be like, maybe I can get a little bit more. I mean, there kind of is at this point. There's a limit
Yeah.
to what you can do. I mean, people will spout all kinds of nonsense online, but I mean, a 1/2-inch gun is really phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have something doing less than that, you probably should just say, okay,
Yeah.
good,
So
all good.
with what we're doing today in firearms and what you're seeing coming out right now, is a 1/2-inch, should that be considered the new standard?
I mean, that just depends on like.
Not if we don't
Probably- I don't
have
think
arm and a leg.
Yeah, for most, you're
But
like,
we've
well,
seen that come from
but you could-
lesser known
That
guns.
Ruger,
I mean,
that Ruger Ranch that I shot with the 223.
yeah.
it's
I
just
shot
it's
a
tough
dime
because
with
there's lots
that.
of variables to say, that it'll do that.
But it didn't shoot a dime with other ammo. And then I tried a different ammo, and then all of a sudden it was like a dime. I mean, I was
Yeah.
just stacking them.
So-
But see, you got to know that you can do it first. You got to know what you're capable of. So if you have a friend, if you have somebody that has guns like this, like me and KJ, we have luxuries like this. This is great. But if you have a friend, you go out and you shoot that gun. If they shoot it really, really well, and you don't shoot it really, really well, like
Sell it to 'em.
Figure out how to shoot it really, really well. Because once you can start doing that, then you can say, man, I can do this. So the next gun you pick up, you're like, I'm doing everything right here. Or maybe you'll pick up one and it shoots really, really well, and you'll be like, wow, I didn't think I could do that.
But I mean, I think as far as like, should we expect 1/2-minute
Yeah.
accuracy? If it's a long range precision gun that costs $3,000 to $5,000, yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Something like that. If it's a $600 hunting gun, that doesn't seem fair to me.
One MOA would be
One
your
MOA
standard.
is great.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're kind of joking about the minute of deer thing, but like seriously, if it's a 1-inch gun at 100, it really is a minute of deer thing.
Yeah.
If it's a
So-
2-inch gun at 100, it's a minute of deer. If it's a 1-inch gun
Yeah.
at 100, it can be more.
Even at
So-
300, 400 yards.
Yeah.
So we did gloss over something with this gun in the testing phase of it. And I know we're running out of time probably, but I sent you a text message and I thought you were going to bring it up and you didn't. And I just now thought of it. We would shoot when the other barrel was on here, we would shoot, 5-shot groups and they were okay. But then it got wild after that. Like, so it looked like it shot really well, but then you go
That's right. You said
7,
it would
8,
shoot good.
9. Yeah.
First 3 to 5 shots, you're like,
Right.
okay.
And that was great. So, and then yesterday when Todd sent you the message, will this work? And it was a great group. My first thing was, what were the next 5 shots like?
Yeah, what were the next 5 shots like? And so today we did shoot 10 consecutively. And last time, I mean, the 5 wasn't anywhere close to this.
No.
I mean, they were 1.5 inches, 2
But
inches anyways. But
that's why
when it started slinging them.
That's when it's a cautionary tale of like, are you the 3-shot group guy when you're going out hunting and going, oh yeah, that's good enough. Well, what happens after that?
Maybe
like,
it's good enough for you.
It depends
If
on
you're
what you
going to take
intend
this to a
do, right?
match, you guys are going to shoot, 100, 200 rounds?
100 rounds for sure. Yeah.
So-
well, hopefully not 100 rounds. Like I want to be a lot less than 100 rounds. If I'm shooting 100 rounds, I'm placing way at the bottom.
Is it less than a 100-round match?
It's like you take 100 rounds, you'll be fine.
Okay.
So-
Good, because I bought 400 and it was expensive.
Don't think you're saving money if you're getting into this game, though.
Oh gosh, no. That's a whole nother.
Because I'm
But,
buying match ammo. Oh,
Yeah.
and don't tell me about hand loading either. Why don't you hand load?
Yeah, it's called time,
It's called Hornady 140s,
and they work.
ELDX, and there's other ones that shoot just as good.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing.
There's so many rabbit holes. All right. Well, that's it for chasing accuracy. Go find that old gun and you're safe, and maybe you bring in a little new life. Put a new barrel on it. Hopefully you don't have to put 2 new barrels on it like Chris. I'll see you next time on Gun Talk Nation.